This is a free roll. The question was just what to do from mount. What's your favorite attack? They get to mount, they pass the guard, and then they're just like, dude, what do I do? So, what do you do?
What do you do? So I've been working a lot of like the triangle position. So first check is, can I isolate one arm, right? Can I isolate one arm? Especially, can I isolate the arm in a way where I control the head and this arm now is strapped between my elbow and my knee here. And now if this person wants to be stubborn here, I can just punch this down and get here. Now from here, I can work into the triangle by switching angle, putting my knee, I close the triangle here. We talked a lot about finishing the arm bars this way by just leaning on top. And then if they start hiding their arm here, there's a lot of stuff I can do where I just bring this up and finish shoulder locks by just closing my knee and bring his shoulder in. Or sometimes I can finish the arm bar here. So there's a lot of, I have a whole sequence of submissions from getting to this spot, plus I'm a 200-pound human. So just me sitting in your chest and, like, you know, messing around with your arm makes yeah, enough people.
My chakras.
Yeah, there's enough people that just do that. They're like, I'm done. It's like, can we please restart? Also, if sometimes, especially if they're like, if they defend like this and then they just decide what arm they're gonna defend the arm bar in, I'll do a lot of stuff where I'll get like one hand underneath and I just throw my knee on top of this arm, and now I'll start doing the same thing with this arm is not clear, but it's pinned to his chest, and then I can start trying to attack this arm bar here. So similar situation, just a little bit different because I'm not taking the time to isolate this arm before I go into the triangle. So I'm going kind of like a shitty triangle, but like that one is just trying to isolate an arm and get a reaction out of them. I think those are always good. Then there's always, like, you know, the classic, you're getting one hand nice and deep and then you're attacking either arm coming across into your armbar sequences, and then you can always go back to choking, right? You can also shove this arm across and then, like, you know, this style choking where you have the lapel and this to choke. Especially guys with big shoulders are always good.
I'm immune. You're
immune. You're big on ways. So those are always good. Others, like, you know, system of attacking is whenever you start isolating one arm over the head to either arm triangle situations, or I like straight arm bars from here. Sometimes I'll hit like
wrist lock?
Yeah, like I call it an Aikido wrist lock, where I'm wrist locking your wrist against the ground here. So I'm just gonna, as you do, like, I'm, you know, let's say I'm going for Americana, people just bring this overhead to defend Americana and bring their elbow in. So now that elbow like settles right on my shoulder here. I make sure this wrist stays bent, and then I'm just gonna go on my toes and drive forward, and this puts a lot of pressure on the wrist. That bends. I saw an Aikido knife disarming video one time, changed my life. I was like, I can do that to people, and then I found that, like, that spot in jiu-jitsu, I was like, this is amazing. So I terrorize white belts with that. I terrorize everybody with that. Anybody that, like, defends me isolating the arm by just bringing the elbow in and going like this and exposing this to the ground.
Do you do any of the underhook the elbow, like if they're here?
Yeah, so the underhook the elbow stuff, a lot of times is there's two things I want to do if you're super tight here, right? One is I want to bend your head this way. By bending your head, now, let's say you defend, right? Mm-hmm. It's like kind of like a magic trick. Now you do this. This kind of like shuts down a lot of your muscles in your deltoid area and like your rotator cuff. Mm-hmm. So here, my elbow goes right into his traps here. I get like a paw situation here, gooseneck my hand, and I just paw the top of his head, and I'm not trying to break his neck, I'm just trying to like tilt it a little bit, and then this becomes so much easier, and then I can switch my hands.
Yeah, this is tough.
And then like he's stuck here, right? Now from here, there's like different things you can do. And then the biggest issue is gonna be like, how much can you clear this? If you can clear this, then you can start going into hit and run territory. You can do like either Americana or straight armbar. I like this old school armbar here where like I'm holding onto the head with both hands, and I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna get my elbow on the ground here. So I'm getting my elbow on the ground and I'm making like this B cup and getting his hand here, and then I'm just gonna push his head with my head, my forearm, my forehead is gonna push his arm down and over. So I'm here, everything's like super tight, and then I'm just pushing down and over, and I get the tap. That was like super old school. I love teaching it to white belts. It's like the first time they're gonna compete. I'm like, you get to mount, work on this. It takes a long time to get. If you have a 5-minute match, you're probably gonna win because the ref's like, oh wow, he's working on that arm. He's not stolen at all. He's trying to finish his old school arm bar. It's a great first tournament tactic. Anything else you want to show?
Collar chokes. Collar chokes. You showed a few. The thing I have been working on is getting this hand in is really hard a lot of the time. I mean, they're just like the classic, the purest of pure is palm up again, and then you get this really strong wrist motion choke. But the problem is, there's a million things in the way from getting in there. And so you can sometimes get the first one in if you come real low. I'm probably stealing this from Dan Lucart, Trumpet Dan. Coming in really low at the bottom of the jacket almost, or anywhere below their elbow, and making a little tiger paw, and then punching my way under there. And you might just end up like completely inside their gi, and then you can pop your hand out to grab the collar. And so even if they're pretty tight in there, so rather than grabbing out here and then sliding my thumb on the outside to hold this tight down, my thumb will get jammed. So it's going entirely inside and then popping your thumb out at the end.
Wow. Is that legal?
The ref didn't see it. So, and of course, if you put your hand in the collar, don't keep your noses lined up or you'll get rolled. So you're always leaning off a bit from the side. And then it's figuring out, well, how do I get to the rest of this? If he just wants to lay here like this, I'll move up and go for the arm bar. If that elbow is lower, so I feel like I can't move up, that means I can probably go for that collar. The way I used to do it and was taught was just kind of like reach over and slap. And there will be times you can get that. But if they tuck their chin and turn their face and they just don't care, like they just don't mind, they're getting their face smashed, you just won't get the choke. So just from another good collar choker, this is the Roger Gracie, is going around the head, and then you're gonna go right on this line, just above the temple. If they've got a fade, it's like right where the fade turns into the top of their hair, right there with your elbow. And then it's kind of like Nelson said, you drive the head at this spot to bend it. This time we're going away. And then you want to stick your thumb in, but your arm might not reach the collar. So slide your elbow back, your forearm's on the head now instead. Grab down low, and then you can wrap over and go to finish here. You'll get the palm up, palm down one, but it's palm down, thumb in, which is like special. It's very hard to get the thumb in usually. Meaning if you just come over the top here, it's unlikely you can just jam a thumb in the collar. You're more likely going to just cup. But this one actually lets you get the thumb in, go to finish, and then it's more about the one strong pull and the other one blocking. When you're doing all these chokes, palm up, palm down, palm down, palm down, all these things, just think of how much you can move your wrist in each direction. Palm up gives you the most wrist motion, so that gives you the real strong finessed finish. Palm down gives you the least wrist motion. So that's where you get, like if you ended up with like palm down, it ends up being more of like a throat mangler because you don't have the clean wrist motion or as much of it. So you will get here and then kind of like pull and then a little against the tip we usually would say, which is you don't open your elbows to finish your collar choke. When you're palm down, the more palm down you end up, the more you open your elbows a little bit, but you still have to do everything else as though you were trying to do a clean choke and then add a little to it. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
So getting there, getting the rodeo grip, getting that collar in there, keeping your balance, and then working that classic double attack. Collar choke, arm bar, they get out of the arm bar, collar choke. I'm sure there's like a billion videos of that online. We probably shot half of them. So look it up.
Yeah, and then you just pick a system. And like I'm gonna work cross collar and close collar transitions are gonna work like isolating the arm, or are gonna work on getting a mounted triangle, and then you just put the reps in those positions for a while, and then you see your success rate like climb pretty rapidly.
Yep. Give it a shot.